What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the 182 News YouTube page. Appreciate you checking out this video. Today, I want to talk about the first Blink-182 sticker ever. Some of you may have seen this. If not, this is often referred to as the anime sticker. Legend has it, Mark made this in Photoshop class. It's the first Blink, they were not Blink-182 yet, Blink sticker ever made. We think it was 93, 94. As a Blink collector, Blink nerd, this is kind of a holy grail item. As always with early Blink stuff, though, you have to be extremely careful. They were very DIY at the time. This has been reprinted, remade by fans throughout the years. So be extremely careful if you stumble across one of these or, get asked to buy one for a super high price. Now, there's a little bit of lore surrounding this. We have always known that the character on this is a cane, and we've known that it was from a manga called Ranma 1/2. Now, a couple years ago, being the Blink nerd I am and kind of digging into the history of this stuff, I wanted to track down the exact issue this came from. And so I was able to figure that out. I had it down to a particular volume, and I took a chance on an issue, and this showed up in the mail. I was pretty confident it was this one. I opened it up, and as I got to page 6, oh my gosh, look what we have here. Boom, there we have the source. Mark popped in Blink underneath, and there's the sticker. Now, I didn't think a ton about that, but as time has passed, I've started really to wonder, is this truly the first Blink sticker ever made? And more importantly, when did it come out? And I actually got this tattooed pretty recently, and that kind of sparked these thoughts. And I wanted to dive into kind of what we know about this thing. So I hadn't paid too much attention to this issue, but I started thinking, okay, if I can timestamp this, that will help with this argument. Now, I looked this up, and this particular issue came out in February 1994. So we can deduce that Mark did not make this sticker prior to that. Blink was formed late 92. They had all of 93. So I started thinking, is this really the first Blink sticker ever made if they had been around for, close to a year and a half at that point? I've spoken with Mark about this in the past. I asked him, I said, was this the first Blink sticker ever made? And he said, yep. And he said he was just really into anime at that time. What better source can you have? There you have it. But I wanted to fine tune when this came out and maybe when we first started seeing it. So if the issue came out in February 1994, my theory is that Mark probably made it between March and May, if it was truly in a Photoshop class, 1994. We have pictures of it on a flyer for September 1994, and then you can actually see it on Tom's sticker strat in December 1994. So it's pretty clear that that 1994 time period is when this was out and being handed out to friends and family. Now, I wanted to start thinking about, are there any other stickers that I can recall from that time period? And there were two that came to mind. The first is this Blink one. It's just all caps on Tom's red Squire. It's a great photo, the best one we have of it. This is a close-up taken by Carrie Key. Now, Carrie notes this as either 93 or 94. And I've spoken with Davy Jones about this. We had a long discussion about it. We're pretty confident this is 1993. So if this is 1993, technically, this is before the Ranma or anime sticker, based on the dating of the comic of the source image. Now, I will say, my theory on this sticker in particular is that either A, it's a one-off by Tom, because I've never seen it. This is the only time I've ever seen it. And B, as I take a look at this, I'm halfway convinced that it may just be a printout that he applied with gaffer tape on his guitar. We'll never know. This guitar is not around. Fun fact, this is the guitar that Cheshire Cat was recorded with, which is crazy. So, all things considered, this probably came earlier, but I don't really count it as a sticker 100%. And I definitely don't think it was made in bulk and handed out to friends and family. Now, the second one that came to mind from this time period is the Alice in Wonderland, the first Blink logo. Scott designed this. We know this came out in 1993 is when this logo was made. We have pictures of it. Tom is wearing the first Blink shirt, the Wiener Man shirt that has this logo on the front in the photos for the Buddha J card. So Buddha came out, we know it was recorded in January 1994. We don't know exactly when it came out, but early 1994. So there is a sticker from kind of that Buddha era that I thought of as well. And it's right here. And you'll see at the bottom, this is by Filter Records, who helped put that demo tape out. And it's got the dude's name who ran that, Pat. Now, here's my, suspicion on this. I suspect actually that this was made by Filter, not necessarily Blink. And so, from that standpoint, I don't think it technically came from Blink. And then again, we don't know exactly when this came out. So we know, again, Buddha was recorded in January, but we don't know when that first became publicly available. And we also don't know when Filter may have made these stickers and started handing those out. So based on that, based on Mark straight up telling me this is the first one, by his recollection, ever made, at absolute minimum, I am confident in saying this is the first Blink sticker, at minimum, made by Mark, and at minimum, distributed widely to friends and family. I know folks who got this sticker back in the day, would talk to them, they gave out quite a few. We see it, you can see it on Mark's Ampeg right here. You can see it in the Eminem's music video, actually on Mark's mic stand, which is gnarly. So I'm convinced that this was made basically March through May-ish 1994. I think it's the first Blink sticker ever made and distributed by the band. So the lore stands, no doubt about it, which is really, really rad. So, one thing I also want to point out is a couple years ago, they remade this sticker, and it was a really big deal. Blink had been celebrating, 30 years leading up to, and there was an artist, a killer artist, JP Tron Walker, who I actually had him on the podcast to talk about this. They remade this sticker. It's redesigned. He had the honor of doing it. So check out that conversation if you haven't yet. But it was a really big deal for some of us Blink hardcores. Some of you may have not even seen the original and you just thought this was an anime sticker out of nowhere. But it was a really big deal for the hardcore Blink fans. So here's what that one looks like. It's gnarly, super, super rad. So I wanted to point that out. That was really dope of Mr. T-Shirt to bring that back. And then as far as seeing it, or if you happen to notice pictures of Mark or Tom at some of the shows recently, you'll probably see this sticker. And I hope you maybe appreciate the history of it just a tad bit more. But Mark has a bass he calls the Relic bass, and there is an original sticker of it right there on the pick guard. This was pretty cool. This was a longtime Blink collector who gave him an original to slap on there, so that's really rad. And then recently, Tom, he's busted out his new guitars. He has the Starcaster. And my actual favorite one that he has and is playing right now, I call it the Sticker Caster, but he has one of those on there. And fun fact, so when I recreated the Sticker Strat, and the Sticker Strat crew did a ton of research and identifying all of these stickers and everything, well, Davy Jones had to recreate this by hand, and he sent that to me to get printed. I sent one of these to Mark, and Mark gave that to Tom, and Tom slapped it on his guitar. So really weird circle there, but long story short, this is what it looks like. Tom has one of these on his guitars right now. Mark has an original on his bass right now, which is gnarly. So if you go check him out on tour and you see that, that's kind of the history around it and why. So yeah, at the end of the day, the anime sticker, I believe, is truly the first blink-182 sticker ever made and distributed mid-1994. And again, be extremely careful if you ever see one of these up for sale. It's all over Redbubble, Etsy, wherever. You'll see it on shirts, hoodies, everything. A lot of it's just bootleg. None of that was ever made back in the day. It was truly just this one. So be careful. If you have any comments, questions, additional info, drop it below. Enjoyed it. Talk soon. Peace.